Have you ever stood by a lake at dawn, when the water is so still, so calm, it almost feels like it is holding its breath? In that quiet moment, there's a truth so subtle, so soft, it almost whispers through the silence. Everything is speaking, even the things we believe are silent. Ice, water, air, and thought, they all hum with frequency. They all sing in ways we cannot always hear. When I first heard Dr. Masaru Emoto speak of this invisible language, something inside me stirred awake. Something shifted. Something opened. He said water can remember emotion, that molecules respond to intention. And maybe, so do we. If the body is mostly water, what does it mean when our thoughts ripple through it? Gently, quietly, endlessly. What happens when we speak words like love, gratitude, forgiveness? When we whisper fear, anger, doubt? This story is not just about water. It is about vibration itself. The secret pulse of creation. The unspoken current. The hidden rhythm shaping every cell, every sound, every choice. Tonight, you and I will walk through 7 vibrational gateways. 7 secrets Emoto left shimmering in science and mystery. You will see how frequency is not just physics. It is poetry. It is the language of life. It is the rhythm of existence. Take a slow breath. Feel it. Let it move through you. The journey begins here, in stillness, where sound has not yet become song, and thought has not yet sculpted form. Imagine every object in the universe as a string, tensed, invisible, endlessly vibrating. From the atom to your heartbeat, everything sings. Quantum physics shows us that matter is not truly solid. It is rhythmic. Particles appear, vanish, oscillate. Symmetry trembles in motion. Dr. Emoto believed this motion, this frequency, is the real alphabet of creation. Every emotion, every word, carries a measurable vibration that interacts with reality. His famous experiment is simple to describe, but impossible to forget. He placed words like love or hate on containers of water, and when the water was frozen, something surprising happened. The water labeled with love formed clear, elegant, snowflake-like crystals. The water labeled with hate broke into distortion, chaos, fragmentation. Skeptics called it pseudoscience. Mystics called it proof. But no matter where you stand, the idea touches something deep inside us. Consciousness changes form. Pause for a moment. What frequency are you broadcasting right now? The hum of anxiety, or the steady rhythm of calm? Through sound spectrography and wave physics, we know that vibration shapes matter. Cymatics shows this clearly. Pure tones organize sand, water, even flame into geometric patterns. Emoto suggested something bold. Our inner world does the same. Every thought becomes cymatic architecture inside our tissues. When you speak kindly to yourself, when you choose curiosity over judgment, your cells hear you. Take a slow breath and ask yourself, if frequency truly is the language of creation, am I speaking fluently, or am I distorting my own signal? The first secret is awareness. Before anything can heal, you must listen to your vibration, because the moment you become aware of your frequency, you gain the power to tune it. The tone softens here, and another layer of understanding opens. Imagine Emoto as a translator between worlds, between science and spirit, between water and word. His message was simple, but radical. The universe is relational, not mechanical, and relationships communicate through resonance. So before we go deeper, lean in, listen. There's already music playing inside you. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself lying beneath a dome of crystal bowls, gongs, and soft humming voices. The air begins to tremble. Each tone moves through you like liquid, light traveling across the ocean of your body. This is a sound bath, not just relaxation, but resonance therapy, inspired by Emoto's ideas. Sound healers notice that coherent frequencies bring chaotic systems back into order. Neuroscientists confirm the same pattern. Rhythmic sound entrains brainwaves. It lowers cortisol. It synchronizes heart rate variability. Think of this as biological tuning. When you allow yourself to bathe in sound, your system begins to match harmony. Here is where the poetry becomes practical. The water within you acts as a conductor. 70% of your body amplifies vibration. Bones hum like internal strings. Blood carries resonance through every pathway. Some people cry during these sessions. Others laugh or see colors behind closed eyes. This is not fantasy. It is coherence returning. So the second secret is alignment through sound. Disorder dissolves when met with a stable frequency. But listen closely. The sound you need most may not come from a bowl or a gong. It might be the gentle vibration of your own forgiveness, the steady tone of your truth. Science says everything vibrates at unique frequencies. Spirituality says harmony is a choice. When the two come together, transformation begins. Next time you feel uncentered, hum softly. Place your hand over your chest. Feel the vibration echo back. That is your body speaking vibrationally before it speaks logically. A small pivot now, because from the resonance of sound, Emoto moved towards something even more crystalline. Structures that hold frequency long after a note fades. Crystals, for some people, they're nothing more than decoration. For others, they're memory made visible. Physical echoes of vibration shaped over thousands, sometimes millions of years. Think about this. Quartz watches, computers, radios, they all rely on crystal lattices to stabilize frequency. Every time a precise signal repeats, every time timekeeping stays accurate, there's a crystal beneath it, humming silently, holding coherence. Emoto saw a mirror here. If water can record energy, then crystals, whether mineral formations or frozen water droplets, can express the story of vibration. Minerals are born under tremendous geological pressure, heat, compression, time, and through all of that, their atomic symmetry forms patterns that can hold stable, repeating frequencies. We are not so different. Pressure shapes us too. Moments of challenge, tension, or transformation can create clarity inside us. They refine who we are. In personal practice, crystals serve as metaphors and sometimes as tools. A clear quartz placed in your hand, or even imagined in your mind, acts like a reminder that coherence is possible even when life feels chaotic. Believe or don't believe in subtle energy, it doesn't matter. The lesson remains the same. Structure responds to rhythm, and rhythm sustains form. Imagine holding an amethyst. Feel its cool weight. Notice how its geometry naturally asks for presence. It brings your awareness into the moment. That is part of what Emoto hinted at. Vibration crystallizes reality. Frequency becomes form. And here we arrive at the third secret. Form follows frequency. Your repeated thoughts work the same way. When a thought repeats often enough, it hardens into structure. A habit, an identity, an expectation, a belief about who you are or what you deserve. But vibration can change. And when the vibration changes, the structure eventually dissolves, which means you're never truly stuck. You may only be resonating with an old pattern, waiting to be retuned. Now, pause for a moment. Ask yourself this question. What part of your life has become crystalline through repetition? And what new tone, what new vibration could soften it, reshape it, or open it again? A gentle transition now, because to reshape vibration, You need a translator between your inner world and your outer experience. Something that carries energy through matter. Something that responds immediately to intention. And that translator is the breath. Pause. Inhale slowly through your nose. And exhale with a soft sound. Feel that wave moving through you, effortless, rhythmic, and inevitable. Your breath is the oldest instrument you own. Before you ever spoke a word, you breathe. Before the first heartbeat formed in the early embryo, microscopic respiration was already happening at the cellular level. Life begins by breathing, long before we realize it. Different cultures describe this differently. In Eastern traditions, it's called prana. In Western physiology, it's oxygenation and carbon dioxide balance. Different languages, same truth. Breath equals vibration. Breath is movement. Breath is frequency made physical. Think about what happens each time you inhale. Air enters your body carrying life force. Molecules vibrating with the rhythm of the world around you. And with every exhale, you release static. Emotional residue. Energetic noise that clings to the inner water of your body. This isn't symbolic, it's measurable. Breathwork regulates the vagus nerve. It shifts heart coherence. It alters brainwave states. It stabilizes emotional patterns. Every slow inhale and long exhale recalibrates the system like tuning a delicate instrument. But beyond all the science, breath is also a conversation. The world breathes you as you breathe it. You are in constant exchange with the environment. Frequency passing through frequency. Now, take a moment, take a breath, and ask yourself, how often do you hold your breath? Not just physically, but spiritually. How often do you freeze your own energy because you're afraid to feel something fully? Here lies the fourth secret. Breath is vibration made flesh. It is the bridge between emotion and awareness, between intention and biology. So the next time you feel anxiety closing in on you, pause, place a hand on your chest, and breathe as if sculpting your inner waters into crystalline clarity. Imagine each inhaled molecule carrying harmony, retuning every cell, realigning your frequency from the inside out. Listen closely. The air is a messenger. Each breath you take is a vote for the frequency you choose to emit. Now we shift gently, because frequency does not stay pure when emotion distorts the field. To understand resonance fully, we must move into the terrain of feeling and the hidden geometry of emotion. Emoto once showed images of water crystals twisted and distorted by anger, and in the same water, gently reorganizing itself into beauty after being exposed to gratitude. When you look at those images, it becomes almost undeniable. Emotions are architects. They sculpt form. They bend structure. They leave signatures in the very fabric of matter. Think of emotion as energy in motion. When that motion flows, it vibrates cleanly. But when it becomes trapped through trauma, fear, suppression, it stagnates. The frequency dims. The inner waters grow cloudy. Neuroscience supports this. Unprocessed emotion doesn't vanish. It becomes embodied. Muscles tighten, breath shortens, hormones linger. The heartbeat trembles at a slightly irregular rhythm. Your whole system shifts into a quieter form of survival. Yet the moment emotion is allowed to move, the entire system begins to reorganize. Tears soften neural tension. Laughter shakes energy loose. Creative expression pulls blocked frequencies back into motion. Here lies the fifth secret: transmutation through feeling. Feeling is not weakness. It is vibrational alchemy. What we refuse to feel becomes noise in our field. What we embrace becomes music. Imagine holding grief in your hands, like a dark stone placed in clear water. At first, everything becomes heavy. dense. But as you allow compassion to flow through you, the water clears, the stone lightens. Gratitude acts like light refracting through a prism, revealing hidden colors you couldn't see before. Do not rush this. Take a slow breath. Emotions are not enemies. They are frequencies waiting to be integrated, waiting to be expressed, waiting to be acknowledged so they can harmonize back into your field. Modern biophysics even suggests that emotional energy affects molecular spin states in water, tiny micro-coherences forming or collapsing depending on the emotional signature present, which means that every time you forgive, every time you feel fully, you are performing a kind of quantum housekeeping, cleaning inner space, rebalancing the geometry of your own vibration. Now, pause and ask yourself, why do we resist letting go when letting go is the pure sound of alignment? Often, it's because familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. The known, even when it hurts, feels predictable. Yet every time you release, every time you exhale fully, the body whispers, "Thank you." The emotional waters inside you always want to flow back to clarity. Once they do, harmony becomes something you can experience daily, not as an idea, not as a philosophy, but as a living practice, a frequency you tune into, moment by moment. And from here, our journey flows naturally into the next truth. Because when emotion becomes clear, your entire life becomes ready for rhythmic harmony. This is where mysticism becomes daily hygiene. Not the kind of mysticism hidden in temples or locked in ancient texts, but the kind you practice with your hands, your breath, your thoughts every single day without even noticing. Emoto wrote words like love or peace on his water containers to demonstrate intention's power. Many dismissed it as symbolic, but symbols have always been the language of vibration. Those gestures seem small, almost too simple, too innocent, but frequency doesn't care about complexity. Frequency cares about consistency. The sixth secret is rituals anchor resonance. A morning of gratitude isn't just poetic, it shifts hormones, perception, and heart coherence. Writing kind words to yourself isn't cliché. It changes vagal tone, alters stress responses, and softens the nervous system. Listening to gentle music isn't indulgence. It rewires neural circuits, stabilizing the inner field. These aren't metaphors, they're measurable. They're the quiet mathematics of your soul. Tiny, embodied acts tune your field daily, like micro-adjustments to a violin string. The more consistent the ritual, the more stable the tone. Frequency rewards devotion. So speak softly to your water. Yes, even if it feels strange. Whisper thank you to your meal, as if gratitude could flavor the molecules. Choose silence over gossip, melody over argument, presence over distraction, because it does flavor your field. It does shape your day. Every small kindness, performed consciously, is an act of vibrational engineering, a recalibration, a tuning. Pause for a moment, just feel that. Notice how even contemplating gentleness shifts your breath. Your body already knows the truth. What if enlightenment is nothing more than flawless, everyday frequency management? Not a beam of light descending from the sky, not a moment of cosmic revelation, but a series of tiny, deliberate notes you play with your attention. Over time, these rituals carve calm into your neural rivers, smoothing edges, soothing storms, transforming reactivity into presence. They're the proof that spiritual practice doesn't need spectacle. It needs rhythm. Your rhythm. Your participation in the orchestra of your own reality. And rhythm, when sustained, becomes resonance, inevitable, powerful, magnetic. The final key that bridges internal vibration with external reality. Because once your inner rhythm is steady, once your rituals shape your tone, resonance begins to echo outward. Life starts responding. People feel your frequency before you speak. Situations align before you plan. Doors open before you knock. And that's where the next secret emerges. The one that explains why reality bends toward the observer who knows how to listen. Everything you desire already exists in frequency form, not in some distant realm, not hidden behind destiny or luck, but vibrating quietly in the field around you, waiting for resonance to call it forth. Resonance determines connection. Two strings vibrating at the same pitch will naturally amplify one another effortlessly, inevitably. Nothing forced, nothing chased, just alignment. The seventh secret is manifestation is physics wearing the face of miracle. Emoto described the universe as responsive, mirror-like, a reflecting pool where your vibration shapes the ripples that return to you. When thought, emotion, and action align in resonance, the world behaves differently. Synchronicities appear out of nowhere. Timing unfolds with uncanny precision. Obstacles dissolve as if they were never solid to begin with. This isn't superstition, it's coherence at scale. Recent studies in quantum biology reveal that resonance governs cellular communication. Even enzyme function depends on vibrational matching. If coherence can organize molecules, imagine what coherent intention can organize at human scale. In relationships, opportunities, healing, and destiny. But here's the paradox, one we often forget. Forcing vibration with willpower doesn't work. You can't grit your teeth into alignment. You can't fake a frequency. Resonance arises from authenticity. The universe hears not what you wish, but what you are. It responds to your baseline tone, not your rehearsed affirmations, not your temporary optimism, but your core frequency. So rather than chasing outcomes, become the vibration of what you seek. Love as if love is already here. Walk as if abundance is breathing beside you. Live as if your dream is already in conversation with your reality. Because energetically it is. That's resonance. When your inner field matches the architecture of what you desire. And when that happens, the water of life responds, the pattern crystallizes, the path appears, and what once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. Picture yourself standing at the base of a vast waterfall, thousands of droplets catching sunlight at once, refracting into ribbons of color, turning chaos into symmetry. Each drop knows how to fall, how to shine, how to return to the river. That is manifestation, the art of alignment, the science of gravity, and the grace of letting go, all woven together. It's not magic, but it feels like magic. What if reality is simply water learning to listen to itself? And what if your desires are the echoes of that listening, calling you toward the frequency you were meant to become? We are all of us made mostly of memory and motion, liquid consciousness carried in a moving body, shaped, sculpted, tuned by vibration from the moment we arrive in this world. Emoto's legacy was never about proving that water thinks. It was about reminding us that we do. Consciously, tenderly, vibrationally. Every thought a ripple. Every emotion a wave. Every intention a frequency waiting to become form. So, tonight, when you drink water, pause for just a moment before you sip it. Hold a glass gently. Let your breath settle. Whisper a word into it. Something that feels like home, peace, clarity, love, or maybe the name of someone you carry in your heart. Then drink slowly and truly notice how it feels to receive your own vibration back through your body. That's how frequency becomes medicine. Not in grand gestures, but in these small, conscious acts that recalibrate your inner waters again and again, day after day, quietly reshaping the way you move through the world. You don't need to control the universe. You don't need to force destiny's hand. You don't need to bend reality into your will. You only need to tune to it, like a musician tuning before a sacred performance, like a crystal finding its resonance, like water settling into its perfect shape. Because the song of creation is already playing, always playing, under your thoughts, behind your heartbeat, beneath every moment of your life. All that's left is to remember your note, the one you were born humming, the one your body still recognizes, the one your soul never forgot. Beat, a gentle closing tone, a breath of silence. Listen closely, because the universe is listening back, always patiently, vibrationally to you.